We see it in CSI and movies all the time. Fingerprints being used for home security, gaining access to the workplace, and even high-tech heists. It's even being used to unlock the latest mobile devices. But did you know your unique fingerprint signature could become the future currency for online shopping? Seth takes a look at the latest development in e-commerce.
You can already lock down some kinds of laptops and hard drives with your fingerprints, but in the last 18 months, high-end smartphone manufacturers have added biometric fingerprint technology to their handsets. Makes perfect sense. I mean, we want to protect the data we store on our phones, right? Passwords and personal identification numbers, or PIN codes as you know them, have long served as the go-to method for accessing devices, bank accounts, and online services, but they're far from infallible. If you've ever had an account hacked, you'll know that it's an upsetting experience. What may be slightly more upsetting to learn is that there's a higher likelihood that your password was guessed rather than prized from the nebulous code of a compromised cloud server. And that puts us in something of a quandary when it comes to paying for stuff over the internet. So seeing as we're already used to buying things with our phones, I think you know where we're going with this. Meet Simon Leps. He's the CEO of Fonterra Digital Works, a local e-commerce development agency, and he reckons that we're a hair's breadth away from making secure e-commerce and real-world purchases with our thumbs. And while we're at it, let's extend that theory to online banking, SUNS codes, OTPs, or credit card details.
Fingerprint technology these days, if you take a look at what Samsung's done and what Apple's done, the home button on the phone now has turned into a fingerprint sensor. And what they do is you put your fingerprint on it a few different positions and it creates an algorithm out of that. So it saves it in an encrypted format and holds it on the phone. So it's never stored in the cloud. Nobody can go on and get a scan of your fingerprint. And when you build an app and you ask somebody to use fingerprint authentication, although it's on the phone and the app's on the phone, you're never actually giving your fingerprint to the app provider. What you're doing is you're telling Apple, there's my fingerprint, and the Apple device is looking at it and saying, does this correlate to what we have already? Yes, we do. No problem. You can give this person access. And then it sends a message back to the app. So at the end of the day, app developers, people who work on the phone, things like that, they're not going to have access to your fingerprint. The actual information is always going to be encrypted and it's always going to be unavailable for somebody to copy. So there's loads of advantages to having your fingerprint technology on your phone. At the end of the day, you probably carry about 5 or 6 cards with you. You've got a PIN for your phone. You've got a PIN for just about everything. And the reason why the phone companies are trying to help by doing away with this is you're just going to use your phone for everything. At the end of the day, it works, it makes it more convenient for you, but it also makes it better for them because everyone is going to have to integrate with their technology. So if you make a purchase, you're going to ask Apple, can I take money from this person? Apple is going to say, let me check their fingerprint. Yes, it's that person. Yes, you can take money. But they're going to clip the ticket on that. Apple is going to charge, and so will Samsung, for every single transaction. So if you look at what they're doing, they're basically entrenching themselves in the e-commerce environment on a number of different levels. Already today, you can see examples of the way this technology is being used. You've got, from the most basic level, when you log into your new iPhone or your Samsung Galaxy S5, you can use the fingerprint technology. You touch your finger down, the phone recognizes you, it opens up. Apple have taken it a step further already, and when you're purchasing apps from the App Store on your phone, it doesn't ask you to type in your PIN code again or your password. It just asks you to tap the fingerprint reader and it authenticates that way. What Apple did earlier this year at their Worldwide Developers Conference is they actually announced that they're going to be opening up the fingerprint technology to app developers. So what we'll do going forward is if we require a password in the app, we will give you the option. You will either be able to type in the password or you'll be able to tap your finger on the fingerprint sensor.
If Leps is right, biometrics will become a standard process for South Africa's online retail platform's point-of-sale process, and may even extend to real-world shopping and events if it gains a foothold with online banking. As for us, we're looking forward to the day when we can keep our passwords at the tips of our fingers.